All right, Libra, thanks for tuning in to your September of 2014 horoscope. My name is Athen, and this is, of course, for Sidereal Astrology. If you'd like to find out your sidereal sign, please check the description down below. All right, Libra, so let's start off by talking about your ruler this month, Venus. She'll be transiting one sign, particularly this month, up until the 24th. In Leo, she'll be in your 11th house. So the emphasis, the overall theme for you is certainly about groups, certainly about humanitarian things, community-related things. Perhaps it's just getting amongst friends, perhaps it's starting some sort of classes or starting, maybe joining an online community, something of that sort, or just enjoying it for those of you who are already involved in such things. And connecting to others, a lot of opportunities there with Venus to connect to others, to form relationships in those areas. So highly recommended to get out in those groups, but I think you're going to automatically want to do that anyways. And up until the 16th, while the sun is in there, the emphasis will be on really expressing yourself within those groups. Okay, so really being your true, authentic self, which you already are within groups anyways. You've got Leo on the cusp of your 11th house. So just letting your true self come out, and I think you're going to naturally want to do that. There's a lot of creative energy also involved in that 11th house also. And then on the 16th, the sun will then move into your 12th house. I'll talk more on that when we get to the new moon. But the next major thing is Mars is changing sign early in this month on the 4th. He's going into your second house from your first. So last month, up in August, there was a lot of drive, motivation, a lot of intentions being set, a lot of acting and moving in the direction of your goals and ambitions. And now the energies, that same energy is going to now be taken into your second house of your values and your personal resources, inner and outer resources. So a lot of motivation there. I think a lot of you will be really acting on your values this month and creating abundance in your life through the masculine principle by being active and involved and putting in hard work. But I think you guys are naturally going to do that anyways. And again, it's all about expressing yourself within the groups, I think, but also in the sense of your ideals, because the 11th house, let's not forget, also rules ideals. What you idealize, what you would like the world to be like, but also what you would like your life to be like in the context of the world, and what you have to offer, and what you have to give. So with Mars going into that second house, that's the house of giving. Well, it's the house of your values. And the funny thing is when we want things, when we want abundance in our lives, it's about giving. And when we give, that's when we receive. So a lot of opportunity there to really, give to those things that you value, generally speaking, and to give your value to others in the greater context of the greater whole. So that's the major energy involving Mars. Now let's talk about the full moon this month. The full moon will be taking place on the 8th, and it's happening in your 5th house. So let's talk about your 5th house. For quite some time, you've had Neptune and Chiron transiting that 5th house of yours. So a lot of your spiritual self-expression, has been, and right now, Neptune's retrograde, so has been reworked. Has been, you're learning how to express your true spiritual nature and to express your divine love. Neptune is about divine love. And there's also a lot of healing taking place in that 5th house also. And expressing yourself in regards to, the greater good. And I think this month, you will certainly find that the expression is certainly fulfilling. And it's all contributing more to you, to yourself, to your identity and who you are. Because you've got your 5th house ruler Saturn in your 1st house. So there's been a lot of lessons, a lot of hard work that you've been doing in regards to your self-image and who you are and your goals and your ambitions in life. And in this month, it's about really seeing the fruits of that. The 5th house is the enjoyment. And the full moon is about illumination and balance. And the balance is, again, it's between the community-related stuff, which is the 11th house, and then opposite that is the 5th. So balancing the community, the larger picture, balancing your ideals with who you really are and your spiritual nature. But in either case, on the 8th, around the 8th, it'll certainly be a time of really the full moon's like your cup is full in that area. So feeling really good. Fifth house, again, it's about joy. So I think a lot of you are going to be feeling really good. I think a lot of you are going to be starting some creative pursuits, again, emphasized by that fifth house. Starting new projects, but more in alignment with what your values are. Starting projects in alignment with what your values are. And finding your self-expression just overall enjoyable this month. So, and some of you might even have been working on these projects. A lot of you might have been working on these projects, and then this month you're going to see some fruits of, in regards to what you've been working on. But more so on how it's making you, how it's fitting into your life, how it's fitting into your overall life, but also how it's changing you, and how your unique self is now being incorporated in everything that you do and everything that you say and everything that you create. So that's the energy involved, especially for the first half of the month, while we have that full moon in the 5th. Now let's talk about Pluto. Pluto is playing a big role this month. Pluto is going station direct on the 22nd of this month. And Pluto, very slow transitor, has been in your 3rd house for some time. He's been retrograde as of April 15th. So there's been for many years, there's been a lot of changes in regards to how you express yourself, how you communicate, and how you think about things. And I think realizing that you have a tremendous power with your thoughts and your words. And, it's the idea of speaking amicably, and with consciousness. And when you really focus on what you say and what you think, you're taking control of your life. You're owning your power. And that 3rd house is strongly associated with manifesting through our words and our thoughts. So this can also be the house of siblings. It can also be the house of opportunities, of teaching and learning. So it's probably affecting you guys in all those ways, individually on some level. And there's been a lot of reflection on that since April 15th. But this month, when Pluto goes direct, there will be lessons learned. The retrograde period was about learning and reflecting. And when Pluto goes direct, it's like, okay, I've got it figured out. Now I'm ready to put this into action and put this into work. And it's really about owning your power again, really emphasized. I think a lot of us, all of us are going to really own our power this month. Because this Pluto direct, and also there's a lot of positive trines involving Pluto this month. But for you, it's in that communication sector, in that thoughts and communication sector. So owning that power will be highlighted for you. And a lot of positive changes this month. With those positive, there's going to be trines with the Sun and Venus early in the month. So it's a very creative, very powerful month for creating change. And this is for creating opportunities in your life. The 3rd house is also about the marketplace. It's about, when you go to the marketplace and you're giving your services, then you're immersing yourself into the population, in with everyone else in the community, right? Again, with that community, with that 11th house emphasized. When you're doing that, then you're creating opportunities to give, which also means opportunities to receive as well. So do keep that in mind this month, Libra. It's very important. Now, the new moon is taking place on the 24th. And the 24th, we've got a few things happening, actually. But let's talk about the new moon. So around the 24th, you're going to have a new moon in your 12th house. And now what's interesting about this is that Mercury will be in your 1st house. Mercury rules your 12th. So while there's been a lot of emphasis on your 1st house, your identity, your goals, your ambitions, particularly last month, this month won't be an exception. It'll continue to be so. But it's more to do with your spiritual self. And it's about, I think there will be an intuition developing about who you are towards the 2nd half of the month, and how this all fits into your role in the community, your self-expression, the power of your thoughts and communications. And I do want to mention also that you've got Jupiter transiting your 10th house, who rules your 3rd. Okay, so your thoughts your thoughts are very powerful. Right now, you've got Jupiter at the top of your chart, and and it's affecting a lot of people, because the 10th house is the public sector. Okay, I think for a lot of you, it's strongly associated with your career and your work. But whatever you're doing for the public, whatever you're doing for your vocation, or whatever you're doing for service, there's a tremendous amount of power available in your words and in your thinking to use in that direction. This has been emphasized for the bulk of this year while Jupiter's been transiting your 10th. But in either case, on the 24th, the new moon in your 12th, a spiritual insight, spiritual intuition about a new beginning with Mercury in that first house. And, it just may come out of nowhere. Some of you might be more inclined, I think, for those of you who do meditate and stuff, will be more inclined to do so at the end of this month. But in either case, pay attention around the 24th. Now, there's a lot of other things involved around the 24th. Your ruler changes sign on that day and then goes into your 12th house. So you guys are going to basically be wanting some alone time, some spiritual time, some retreating time for the last week of this month and then into October, for at least the first half of October. Wanting to spend some time reflecting and getting in touch with yourself, with your spiritual nature. Okay, and what's going to come from all this, I think, is an understanding of everything I mentioned. Okay, because it's all tied in, but particularly in regards to something new, some new motivations that you guys have started, some new projects or something like that. Okay, some new beginnings. But so take the time out. For those of you who are real busy, just, I would recommend taking some time out the last week of this month and into October in particular, because when we do so, when we relax, then that's when, that's what we need sometimes. It's that part of the cycle now for you where it's important for you to rest up, because then when your ruler Venus goes into your first house in October, the end of October, and there's a lot of powerful changes happening in October too, then you'll be rested and you'll be recouped, and then you'll be able to put a lot of that energy into these new beginnings. Okay, but the new beginnings are already here. The new beginnings are always happening, but there will certainly be a new overall theme for you at the end of this month, I think, and it has to do with your spiritual self. What's important to you spiritually? Because the 12th house is what's important to you, as a soul, as an essence. It's the subconscious, behind the scenes. And this is coming to light now for you to help you align your life more in tune with your soul and your spirituality. Now, also on the 24th, we've got a grand trine taking place involving Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars. Okay, so Uranus in your 6th, Jupiter in your 10th, and Mars will be in your 2nd at this time, and this is bleeding over into October. Okay, so it's involving your earth houses. So at the end of this month, I think there will be, first of all, this transit is liberating. Jupiter, Trine, Uranus, that alone is Jupiter touching Uranus like that. It's very supportive and liberating and feeling free. And where you're going to be really feeling free this month, Libra, is in regards to your work, your service, what you're doing on a day-to-day level with your 6th house. Because you've had Uranus transiting your 6th, so there's been a lot of freedom and your true self coming out when you actually take care of your physical body, or you take care of your daily activities, or you refine your skills in your work. It's a tremendous amount of freedom in that. And at the end of this month, you will certainly feel that freedom. And it's also freedom in regards to your guys' careers or whatever you're doing on the surface, like I talked about, for service, with Jupiter transiting your 10th. Now it'll be involving Mars in your 2nd house, okay? But this is going into October. But in either case, Mars will be there. So again, it's about really going after your values, okay? Feeling liberated with that. Expanding your work, feeling liberated with that. A lot of positivity going into acquiring your resources. Some of you might, have a little increase in finances or something like that early October or something. It's possible. Just feeling overall good about the earth houses in general and free. certainly, and motivated too. And motivated. And I think that, again, that's all tied into these new beginnings. A lot of motivation this month in regards to that. All right, Libra, so thanks for tuning in. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. This is just a general look at where the planets are in the sky. If you'd like to see how they're impacting your personal planets, please get in touch. And thanks for watching. Have a good month.